can't. You see why the white people they storm the White House? They got militias, they got gun clubs. Them niggas make shit happen. Black people trying to protest. Fuck Black Lives Matter. Owned by white people. I don't support LGBT. I don't feel sorry about it. See, I'm for my culture, bro. I live and die by that, and I'm gonna win. Those who are first shall be last. Those who are last shall be first. It's already written. We gonna come in position. Just gotta be patient. That's what it is, bro. Now I'm not for bullying, but I'm not for being a victim neither. See, I showed up. That little Asian girl, I'm showing her real shit. My heart is pure. But I'm not gonna forget that I'm black. I wanna teach my own too as well.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I don't teach division. But I'm gonna teach that young black boy, you better watch out for them other people. Cause they trying to kill you. That's what it is. Do I want it to be that way? No. Is it that way? Yes. So when do we say, you know what? We gonna change it? Like I said on the podcast, Vivendi owns the fucking music industry. Some French motherfuckers putting budgets for people that's talking about gangbanging, killing, and violence. You can't name one Jewish rapper that's a blood. Name him, I'll wait. You can't name one Jewish rapper that's a Crip. Name him, I'll wait. It's a reason for that shit, B. You can't name one fucking Yemen rapper that's a blood or a Crip that's talking about, yo, get the op, spin a block, kill him, shoot him, kill his mother. Why? They use crack to break down black communities in the 80s. They're using music to break down black communities now, bro. And it ain't come from us. That's why them kids on that bus with their pants sagging. That's why them kids is like, yo, fuck that, I don't care about life. That's why that girl's 6 years old talking about twerk, twerk, twerk. It's in the music. You see? We warriors, bro. So now we gotta fight God's war. That's a bus with a little bit, that's like a train with only 2 people on it. Anybody trying to get on that train?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why would, so you say you're for the culture, but then not for LGBT folks. But there's black folks that are part of the LGBT community.
That's their business.
Then
They stay over there.
And if they're doing stuff for the culture, then how do you feel about that?
You can't, because you can't do stuff for the culture as a whole, because you're operating under a vibrational frequency that is not our original culture. Homosexuality started with the Europeans. Now this is...
That's not how that works. No.
Listen, I get that as a touchy subject, but I don't make things based upon opinion, right? I study like, you know, before it was called Africa, it was called what?
It's called the world.
No, it's called Kemet.
Okay.
Right? So do you know why it's called Africa? Because Scipio Africanus, right, beat Hannibal the Great in Carthage, right? So what I'm saying is I study my culture. Homosexuality is not a part of my culture. It's not. That shit was used as a way to destroy my culture. Now, whatever everybody else do, that's their business. I don't feel no type of way. Your choice is your choice. It's your preference.
I mean,
they hung black people from trees and it was legal, right? Now they tell you, oh, a man be with a man, a woman be with a woman, and you think it's cool, but who's putting the messages out? The same people that hung me from a tree and telling me go run up in a man's ass. I'm not doing it. I'm not jacking it. It's not in my culture. And God told you it was wrong. So people have their own opinion on shit. I believe in God, and every book of God told you it was wrong. In the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah, Leviticus, whatever. In the Torah, same thing. They
said a man should not lay with a boy, so it's like pedophile is bad.
No.
Pedophilia is bad.
No. They said a man. They said a man. It's in Leviticus. They said a man should not look at another man as the same way he looks at a woman. And then a lot of people place semantics and try to twist the word of God to fit their own agenda. So it's all good. But yeah. So
Okay.
It's just we just gotta know. Like you got your mission,
My dad's like Russian.
which is powerful. You got it for your people. Got my mission for mine, B. I'm rocking. You know what I'm saying? We on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and if we could put it together, I think that'd be powerful. Then we can make some true change. But it's people that's not gonna like that because they benefit from.
Yeah, but that's not us. Like we don't benefit. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we don't benefit from that. You know what I mean? Like I was in the system too. I was raised in the system since I was 8 years old. So I know exactly what that system. A lot of Asian people have never been through that system. They don't know about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just one of the few that was a part of it. But every time I went, there was more black people than anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact that as you go into them systems, them shits don't help kids become men. You know what I mean? They help kids become criminals. You know what I'm saying? It's incubators.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that. Like they will never really understand that because they didn't go through it. You know what I'm saying? All right, much love. Please. But I went through it, so I understand. You know what I mean? I know that.
But take me. I got an 8th grade education, bro. As smart as I am, I got an 8th grade education. You see? System. I didn't read Shakespeare, every book on business, marketing, whatever, right? Sigmund Freud, Warren Buffett, Benjamin Graham, Intelligent Investor, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, you name it, I fucking read it. Had I would have had a system in place that wanted to see me elevate, bro, I'd have been a billionaire a long time ago. So the issue is we can't fight history. Nobody wants to, it's like the ugly elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about. Like, black people have been getting fucked by America for too long. For too long, bro. And they put everything, people attach strategically themselves to us. You got Black Lives Matter, and as soon as you turn around, LGBT. Right to that. So now we confused. We fighting for gay rights instead of civil rights. We fighting for gay rights instead of black rights. Like,
I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt. I can't listen to because it's just the fact that history, if you look at history books, history is always written by the winners. So a lot of times, the Western idea, making sure that being hetero is like the norm. That's what happened.
That's our business, though. I'm talking about black people don't have to see, and that's what I'm saying. It's the confusion. It's like, whatever they do over there, I don't care. I'm concerned with black people, black men and black women being oppressed in America. Now, whatever the people do with just sexuality, and this is two different things. Sexuality and you can read it. You can read it in history. You can see it. Go on TV, see it, and you can study it. Black people were killed being black. Killed. We're still being killed for that. We're still to this day. So I don't expect you to understand because you're not black. So respectfully, I don't even care. And people that, if you LGBT, I support, that's your business. Me personally, I don't intertwine the two. And we can't move forward if we keep intertwining the two. And that's what they do. They keep us off of the fucking focus. What you do in your bedroom was your business. I'm talking about executive orders, passing laws. We don't got no institutions. Where's the black schools? Where's the banks? Where's the black hospitals? They fucking computer chipping us. They fucking killing us. These niggas is killing us, bro. We don't got no institutions. Are you crazy? Listen, you got a Chinese police department, you got a Jewish police department, you got an Irish police. There's no black police department. That's why you don't see Asians getting shot by fucking police. That's why you don't see Jewish people get shot by police. Black people, we don't got no institutions. You see? So what I'm saying is what I think me and you could do is keep building these platforms and informing the youth how to interact with the opposite skin color. Right? You judge that man by his character, not by his skin color. You see? And you work with that man, you build that wealth. You build that wealth. You see? We ain't just talking about interracial dating because Asians like blacks and black. It's just beyond fucking making cute babies. Let's make fucking beautiful buildings.
Right.
You see? That's the difference. We do some import-export shit. We go to China, get some goods from China, right? And go sell in Africa. Go get some goods from Africa, go sell in China, then go do both, and then come sell in America. And make that a fucking program for these kids, bro. That's changing the world shit, bro. That's changing the world shit, bro. And that's the type of shit I'm on, bro. And everybody not gonna jack that. Oh, you know what I mean? Sorry, this was an impromptu.
Do you honestly believe the U.S. government, this current U.S. government hates black people?
Well, the current U.S. government system is of the same system and same structure that it's always been. And it's, we can call it mislike, we can call it antipathy, but regardless, there is a difference in how the government treats and addresses black people or Africans in America in the way they do other
Can you give me a couple
America.
examples?
Sure, and I'm glad you asked that. It's a great alley-oop, I call it, right? I'm gonna slam dunk it. So if your audience, right, who are probably going crazy right now, this guy, said these things, the government hates black people. I want everyone to look up things like the war on drugs, which has targeted black people, mass incarceration. The FBI director, James Comey himself, and the New York head of police also said the origin of policing came from slave catching. We also go look at black codes, the vagrancy tactics, the bombing in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the bombing in Philly of the Moo family, all done by the U.S. government towards African people in America.
So you would say arresting people and keeping law and order is anti-black? By saying that, are you saying that black people inherently are the ones committing the crimes?
No, what I'm saying is that having a system, a structure in place, right, from the post-freedom or enslavement of black people, and where a system was created called the convict leasing system by our government, and where the same year that slaves were free, they created laws called vacancy taxes that made it illegal for blacks to be homeless and would lock blacks up and put them in a convict leasing system.
But see, here's the thing. I hear what you're talking about with respect to America's history.
But the same practices are happening today.
Well, I see homeless people all over the place, but I still don't see where you're justifying your current anger toward America or the American government. I can see you being upset about what may have happened in the past, but you cannot say it's occurring. Of course it's changed. The fact that you're in this studio right now talking the way you are is the best proof in the world that it's changed.
The fact that the 13th Amendment still says slavery was abolished except you commit a crime says that things are still the same. And when you have inmates working in prison, majority of whom are Africans in America, who are making 20 or 30 cents a day.
Jay, why are the majority of people in prison of African descent?
Because the African people in America were never repaired after their enslavement, after their Jim Crow, after the government redlined them, after the government never gave any restitution for the Holocaust enslavement of African people. So if you don't repair a people or you put them in ghettos and you put them poor and uneducated in ghettos, you're going to get that kind of activity.
It's interesting when we have this conversation, sometimes I drive home on the West Side Highway. It's a little cluttered, so I'll take the slow route. And I drive through some of my old neighborhoods that I lived in throughout Harlem. And I see them now, and they're becoming what they call gentrified. So it's the same neighborhood, the same buildings, but less graffiti, less garbage on the street. So what makes a ghetto? Not the buildings, not the neighborhood, right?
Correct.
Right. So the way people treat the buildings in the neighborhood makes it a ghetto. Who can you blame that on other than the person in the mirror?
There's two accountabilities. There is self-accountability for Africans in America, that we have to repair ourselves because of the trauma that we suffered. But I liken it to if you take someone who was kidnapped, right, or a woman or a man who was molested for several years, and then they're pushed out of the house that they were molested in, and then they go out in the streets and they're promiscuous. You blame them for being promiscuous, but you don't blame the person who caused the trauma.
Yeah, it's a stretch.
See, it's not a stretch.
It's a stretch.
Was there or was there not? So if there was never trauma for this kind of treatment, right? I'm talking about the human rights violations of Africa.
We're talking about the individual, not the history. One thing, I got to tell you something.
They come together, King.
They don't.
They come together. If they did, if there wasn't a need for repair of people, then the Japanese Americans wouldn't have been repaired or had restitution after their 2 years internment camps in America. Or the Jewish Germans wouldn't have gotten repair.
Are you saying all it would take in your mind then is some sort of restitution check from the government?
I didn't say check.
No, well, you're saying some sort of restitution.
Repair aid, restoration.
Let me tell you something.
It starts with
there are no black people in America right now who were ever slaves. Not a single one. Right. There are no white people in America at this point who were ever slave owners.
Correct.
Okay.
But is there not residual effects of that?
The overwhelming majority.
Are there no residual effects of that?
Not for the average person on either side.
Is there no
not for the average person for the either side.
How do the black people get into the ghettos you talked about?
You have to escape
yourself. Did the government not redline black people, put red lines on the map? Google it if you don't know, King. The government put black people into ghettos through redlining. That created it.
Jay.
Is that right or wrong?
Ultimately, we are in a point right now.
Did the government not create COINTELPRO? A government program that broke up civil rights leaders and assassinated our people. Did the government not do that? You can put good people in a bad system. If the company culture is screwed up, then it's going to play out in the market. Well, the market for us is the treatment of African people in America. And it's proven by, Jane Elliott said it best. You can ask a room full of European Americans, white people, and ask them, will you trade places with the treatment of African American? And not one would say yes. If it was fair, they all would say, sure, I would. So ask your white friends at home and ask them, would you trade places with the treatment of black people in America? And not one would, because we all know it's unfair.
Well, I don't want to speak for all white people here, but I will say a lot of people would probably turn around and say, the worst part about the treatment of black people in America is how black people treat each other in America.
But see, why is it always a spin?
It's not a spin. It's a fact. If we're laying out the factual issues and we're going to rank them in terms of what's the most critical in terms of making black life miserable in America, I personally think I would put the way black people treat black people at the top.
I'm all for self-accountability. I call you king, and I call all our black women queens to purposely elevate and uplift them. That's what I've been doing it for a year now. I don't use any other words other than king or queen referring to our own, because we've been personally degraded. We degrade ourselves, and we've been degraded. But we always spin the point.
It's not a spin. How do we fix that?
You have to.
How do we fix that? Black people killing black people. When does the perpetrator take acceptance?
When does the perpetrator take acceptance? When does the perpetrator take responsibility? When does the perpetrator take accountability? When does the perpetrator take responsibility? When does the perpetrator take accountability? When does the perpetrator take responsibility? 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 When does the perpetrator take responsibility Right? You want the victim to take acceptance, but when does the perpetrator, the government who created this system,
not the government,
that has abused and traumatized the
not
people?
the government. I'm talking about the young brothers who are going to kill each other this week
I know
and all
what you're
across
talking
this
about.
country.
I'm okay with self-accountability.
Killing each other?
No, I'm okay with self-accountability.
How do you fix that then?
How do we fix that? It's through our repair curriculum. Right now, we're repairing ourselves by unifying ourselves. I have a solution for us. The solution for us is for us to get some self-dignity, self-pride by us unifying and understanding that before we're American, we're African first. That's why it's African-American. And when African people realize that we are one people who are the source of African cultures and tribes and countries that were brought here, captured here, and been left in this crap to deal with it ourselves, then we'll unite and we'll fix our own problems. But we cannot forget the perpetrator who caused this misery for us.
I think we're all Americans first and foremost. First and foremost, yes. I am an American, and
You're African American,
and I'm of African descent, and I'm proud of that.
Right.
But I'm more proud of being an American more than anything else.
Were American, they were African.
It doesn't matter. There are people going to be
free Africans.
Jay, they're going to be people sworn in tomorrow.
Before they were colonized Americans, they were free Africans.
They're going to be people sworn in tomorrow, and guess what? They're going to have tears streaming down their eyes because they get to be a part of this great American dream.
They want to assimilate,
and they will call
while the
themselves
majority
Americans.
of their people are in misery. I get it. I'm doing well for myself. You're doing well. There's a 10% of us that do well. But what about the rest of us? Who are left in the ghettos, who are left in poverty, who are left with low education, who are left to deal with this.
And yet,
don't forget about your people, King.
Listen. By saying being
who
honest,
caused this misery for your
honest,
people? Who caused this misery for your people?
I know
what system did.
The misery I've seen in my own life, most of it against black people, have been at the hands of other.
And what's the other?
The murders I've seen. The stabbings I've seen.
Who put them in that condition?
The harm I've seen.
Who put them in that condition? Who broke them down that way?
Okay, that's what I've seen.
Who degraded them that way? Who demoralized them that way?
Jay.
Who dehumanized them that way? Where did they get that condition from, King?
Jay, ultimately, it's not going to wash. It doesn't wash now.
What's the root of black people being in the condition they are?